All right, here I am at the South Washington Avenue Railroad Crossings here in West Chicago, Illinois. Now this railroad crossing, or I would say these two railroad crossings, is a neat double railroad crossing setup owned by two different subdivisions. The one in front of me here is owned by the CN Leithon subdivision, which is an ex-EJ&E connection subtrack. And down there, that crossing right there is owned by the Union Pacific Geneva subdivision. And I decided to come over here to West Chicago to railfan for a bit just to see how many trains we can get, and we got quite a few. And we also went here a couple nights ago just to do some night railfanning, but since I'm back here in the daytime, I decided to tour this crossing as well as the other one on the Geneva sub, which I'll explain in another video. And yeah, and I decided to do a single video on both of these crossings since they're practically next to each other, because right there is the JB Tower, owned by CN ex-EJ&E, as you can see, and this is the one of the only manned railroad towers to ever be in service today. And you can see there's the diamond right there, which is a 3x1 diamond. Pretty cool, since it's a triple track UP and single track CN subs. So I guess that said, I'll explain everything as I go on. So that said, let's get to it. So for the first signal, this has a Western Cullen Hayes base. And here's the emergency information, and the dot number for CN, and the dot number is 260541T. And you can see there's an emergency number on the gate arm right there. And if you look on the side, or not here, but over here, there's an old EJ&E dot tag on the relay case, or old EJ&E emergency information. And for the gate mechanism, which is kind of uncommon, this has a us&s Model 95 second or third generation gate mechanism. Yep, it's pretty neat stuff. And the gate features some Ricoh LED gate lights and a wind guard on the mast, but as you can see, the wind guard is not doing anything for this gate since it had to clear the power lines. They adjusted the gate like this. And for the lights on this one, this has two pairs of Harman 12x24 inch fading LEDs, like Harman uniform fading LEDs. And these are all sitting on a Harman light bracket, newer generation. And for the bell, this has a Safetran Type 3 electronic bell. And one thing to mention, this crossing right here is, although it is separate from that crossing circuit over there, the bells only ring when the gates are going down, and they ring again when the gates are going up. They don't ring in between. So yeah, that right there is the first signal. Now let's go across the road to get to the second signal, though it is a little close and risky to the diamond. So yeah, here's the second signal, which is similar to the first. This has another Western Cullen Hayes base. And here's the emergency information once again with the emergency number on the gate arm. And for the gate mechanism, this has another us&s Model 95 gate mechanism, second generation, I believe. And the gate lights are NEG, a mix of NEG and Ricoh LED gate lights with the wind guard on the mast. And the lights are two more pairs of Harman 12x24 inch uniform fading LEDs, all sitting on a Harman light bracket, or Modern Industries arms. Yep, Harman light bracket with Modern Industries arms, apparently. And the bell on this one, this has a Siemens low tone electronic bell set on medium to high volume, which I believe replaced another Safetran Type 3 in the past, or a mechanical bell of some sort. I believe these two signals used to have Safetran hybrid bells. So yeah, that right there is the equipment for Washington Street number 1. Here's the relay case, which has the EJ&E tag on it. So yeah, I guess that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the track view for CN. Down there is heading south towards a couple more crossings along the line, as well as control point, I believe JB Tower, since that eventually goes to a siding down there. And down there is heading north towards another crossing at, I believe at Aurora Street, but that is a private crossing owned by CN. I can't really go there, but it's gateless, as you can see, and heads off to another control point right here at JB Tower. And I believe that is a siding right there. And here's a look at the tower itself, ex-EJ&E, which is still manned to this day, which is really cool. So yeah, now let's go ahead and cross the road and tour the crossing on Union Pacific on Washington Avenue. So yeah, this right here is what we're looking at on the Union Pacific Geneva sub. So here's the second crossing, which is right next to the CN crossing right here. So yeah, for the first signal on Union Pacific, this is a much bigger setup. So for this one, this has a Western Cullen Hayes base, once again. And here's the emergency information for Union Pacific, and the dot number is 174973G. And for the gate mechanism, this has a Western Cullen Hayes gate mechanism, newer generation, with the General Signals gate arm bracket. And the gate lights are Ricoh LED gate lights, as well as a wind guard on the mast. Excuse me. And the lights on this one, this has two pairs of Western Cullen Hayes 12x20 inch first generation LEDs, all sitting on a WRS light bracket. Pretty neat stuff. And for a bell on this one, this has a General Signals Type 3 electronic bell. And unlike the CN crossings, the bells on this crossing ring all the way through until the gates start to rise. So basically all the way until deactivation, and not really all the way through. So that right there was the first signal. Now before we move on to the other equipment over here, there are a few pedestrian gate mechanisms around here, which is pretty cool. This first one right here protecting the little driveway of this neighborhood, I think. So here is the first pedestrian gate mechanism, which is sitting on a Satran base, and they also stuck a dot tag right here on the really short mast. Kind of looks funny from a distance. And the gate mechanism is a Satran gate mechanism 1990s generation, and the gate has no gate lights on it. So yeah, that right there is the first pedestrian gate mechanism. Now let's go ahead and move on to the other one that's all the way over here. Actually, it's gonna be a long walk. Let me pause the video. All right, here is the second pedestrian gate mechanism, which protects this sidewalk right here. Once again, this one's sitting on a Satran base with the mast. And the gate mechanism is another Satran gate mechanism 1990s generation. And of course, and I kind of noticed, just like that other one over here, that they gave this one a fresh coat of paint. And the gate, once again, has no gate lights on it. A short boy. Yep. And yeah, those two were the pedestrian gate mechanisms. Now there are two more signals to tour, while that one right there is facing towards Aurora Street, but I'm going to tour that one anyway, just for lulz. But well, then again, it's technically a part of the crossing. It goes down with the rest of the signals. But yeah, so yeah, here is the next signal. So for this one, which is kind of similar to the other ones, but not really, this one has another Western Colon Hayes base sitting on this big metal foundation. And here's the emergency information once again. And for the gate mechanism, this has another Western Colon Hayes gate mechanism, newer generation. And these are all sitting on, and wait, what? And the gate features some Rico LED gate lights and a wind guard on the mast. Why did I say sitting on a whatever? I'm not even to the lights yet. Well, now I am. And for the lights, this has two pairs of Satran 12 by 24 inch light heads with Electrotech or LEDs in them. Electrotech or whatever LEDs. I just got a text from James that we have a UP line. Oh, yep, we do. Bottom yellow. And these are all sitting on a Satran light bracket. And this signal has no bell on it. So yeah, I guess that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the final signal on this setup right here on Washington Avenue. So for the final signal, which was similar to the other one, this is another Western Colon Hayes base. And here's the emergency information once again. And for the gate mechanism, this has another Western Colon Hayes gate mechanism, newer generation. And with the gate featuring some Rico LED gate lights and a wind guard on the mast. And the lights on this one are one pair of Satran 12 by 24 inch light heads with Electrotech or General Signals LEDs in them, sitting on a Satran light bracket. And for the bell, this has another General Signals Type 3 electronic bell. So yeah, that right there is all there is to show for the equipment here at Washington Avenue on Union Pacific. Here's the relay case, which is sitting all the way over there. Now, one thing worth mentioning, this crossing right here actually shares an approach circuit with Wood Street over there, which is the other crossing I'm going to tour in another video. But they only share an approach circuit for westbound train traffic, while the eastbounds, this usually activates separately from that crossing right there. And they also deactivate separately too, so they do not share an island circuit. So yeah, I guess with that said, let's go to take a look at the track view. Like I said, down there is heading west towards a yard, as you can see. And you can see that there's a couple of big signal towers heading towards a control point with multiple crossovers. I don't really know what any of it's called, but yeah, as you can see, we do have a train lined. But yeah, and down there is heading east right towards the West Chicago Metro station, right over that signal tower. And we got... yeah, that's pretty much it. The curve. There's some crossings down here, and there is some crossings down there, I believe. And one more thing worth mentioning, that this crossing is a quiet zone. Both of these are. And just like my luck states, a train comes out of nowhere when I do my crossing tour. Though, yes, it has been lined, but then again, I wasn't expecting a UP train anytime soon. But then again, that's the Geneva sub for you. Anyways, we're gonna wait for this thing to clear and do my final outro for my crossing tour, because I don't know where I left off, but I know I did, you know, show both track views. Though I meant to say that down there is heading eventually towards Rochelle, in which I did tour the crossings when I was there previously. And yeah, there's the end of the train. Let's go ahead and film the deactivation, shall we? But yeah, I guess that is a proper way to end off a crossing tour. So with that said, this was the south, why did I say south? This is West Washington Street. Oh well, this is the West Washington Street railroad crossing in West Chicago, Illinois. Well, yeah, I guess I'll just put just Washington Street in the title. Though I've been here for long enough to know everything, but I guess I haven't been here for long enough. Whatever. I guess with that said, over and out.